Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sharon, and this is Classy Shades Designs.
For today's Tumbler Tuesday, let's make a holographic buffalo plaid cup. Using this 24 ounce tumbler, I took it outside and spray painted it black and blue because originally I was going to do something else with it. Then I decided to take this masking tape and this double-sided tape and try to do a unique buffalo plaid, one not seen before. So the first thing I did was to cross my cup with a piece of the large masking tape, and honestly I don't know the size, it's just one that I purchased at the store, and I'm only going to have my buffalo plaid go halfway down the cup, so I'm going to cut it off here. The next thing I did is came in with another large piece of tape and I went the exact opposite way on the cup. Now with this piece I was careful to make sure that I balanced the cup out a little even so that my squares would be shapely, and I saw that it was a little off, so I attempted to redo it and balance it out better. Then I cut out the excess piece that ran across the middle, and I saved these pieces of tape so that I could use them later. If you're doing a buffalo plaid, you should know that it takes a lot of tape, and so you want to try to reserve it wherever you can. The next thing I did is I came in with my quarter double-sided sticky tape and I ran a piece of sticky tape, double-sided tape, along each side of my masking tape and around the top. I wanted to, I just want to do something a little bit different, and so we're going to just see how this works. We're just playing around here, but I added this tape on, making sure that each piece of tape was about the same length as the masking tape so that they would run together. I then ended up with something that looked just like this. So the next thing that we needed to do was make our stripes that go around the cup. Taking that larger piece of masking tape, I lined it up underneath my double-sided sticky tape that I used around the rim of the cup and taped it all the way around. Now this part is extremely important because you don't want your tape to overlap on the rim. You're using that as your straight edge guide, and so when you get it placed properly on there, you want to make sure that as you go around the cup that you are placing your masking tape directly underneath. And I'm sorry that I can't show you better, but it was kind of hard to do this on camera or in tape view and work on it at the same time. Once you have it complete, I'm just going to go ahead and leave myself a little flap so that when I'm ready to pull this, it won't be so hard to deal with, and we'll just keep on working. So then the next thing is just make sure that you rub your tape down really good, because you want to make sure that it's you got a good seal. Then I came in with an additional piece of the quarter double stick tape, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to fit this inside of the one side here and make sure that it's lined up underneath the masking tape itself. We don't want them to overlap because we're going to individually pull these off, and then just cut off your excess. And you should have something that looks like this. And again, rub this down really smooth because when we pull that up, we don't want to pull up the tape with it. Repeat this step throughout the entire cup. You're just going to rotate from going with the double-sided sticky tape to the masking tape until you have the entire cup outlined or taped up or masked off, however you want to say it, this way. I'm going to speed up the camera so that you can see how I've done this, rotating the steps back and forth. Keep in mind that this does take a lot of tape, and so to reserve some of the tape, I'm using some pieces that we cut off from the earlier part where we trimmed it out of the middle. And because this is going down and is slant now, I don't want to use an entire piece of tape. I'm just using the small pieces. So this is what I ended up with after I had everything taped up. And you may be saying, why did you tape the whole cup? Because this gave me my straight lines and my guidelines that I needed in order to keep everything as straight as I can possibly do. Now, because this is a freehand cup, it's not going to be perfect, but we do want it to be a little straighter. Now I'm going to come in with my straight edge, and I'm going to peel up these the areas where I want to start with our first Mod Podge and glitter onto the cup. And I'm just going to peel all of these off of here. When you're doing a buffalo plaid, you have to know, like, it's a solid color and then the mixture color and then a solid color, and I'll explain that again. But the glitters that we're going to use, of course, we're going to use Tea Glitz. We're going to use her Autumn Eve, which is kind of a fall color, and I'm wanting this cup to be a fall. And I'm going to use the Artemis Crystal, which is part of the Sailor Moon collection, which is a beautiful mixture of silvers, iridescent colors. And since we're doing the buffalo plaid, it has to be 3 colors. Or it could be more, but 3 for sure. So I'm going to use, in this cup, I'm going to go ahead and pour some of the Artemis Mist by Tea Glitz. In the same cup, I'm going to pour in some of the Autumn's Eve. I'm going to pour in a little bit more of the Autumn Eve because the Artemis Crystal is so potent that it will take over the color of the Autumn's Eve. It seems strange, but it's true. And then next, I'll just take the end of my paintbrush here and mix these together. We just want to mix it really well until you have a really fine mixture. Now, these 2 glitters are by Tea Glitz, which is a young lady that I am the exclusive vendor for right now, and I'll leave her information below where you can go out and purchase it. If you decide to purchase this glitter, there is a discount, and I'll leave my discount code below, and whatever you do to help support her, I would appreciate it. I also appreciate you watching my videos, so please support Tea Glitz at teaglitz.com. Next thing we want to do is come in with some Mod Podge, and I'm just using a tray that I picked up at the Dollar Tree and adding my Mod Podge to it. And we're going to go ahead and spread the Mod Podge onto our cup. Give special attention to the corners of your cup because you want to make sure that you hit those corners really well with Mod Podge so that the glitter can stick all the way down in there. Now I'm going to go and only going to do half of the cup because we want the glitter, the Mod Podge, to get a little tacky. This will give us an opportunity to use the Tack-it method and make this holographic glitter really show. So sprinkling on the Artemis Crystal without the mixture, just the plain Artemis Crystal, I'm just going to pour it onto the half that I've already Mod Podged and cover it really well. I allowed it to get tacky, and because it's kind of a thin coat of Mod Podge, it didn't take it very long to be tacky already. So you don't want to have it too wet, and you don't want to wait too long where it starts to dry on you, because then it won't stick. The glitter will not stick on it at all. Once you've gotten your glitter covered, your Mod Podge covered with glitter, then come in with your finger and just lightly rub over it. What this rubbing does is it helps lay down any of the glitter that's sticking up, and it helps give it a holographic look. And you can kind of see here on tape where it's changing the look of it, and I didn't get enough Mod Podge in that corner, see, or either it dried faster than I got it pouring on there. See how that looks? That's what happens when you don't get your corners really well. So we'll have to come back and hit that and do some repair, but that's okay. Just make sure you rub your hand, your finger all over it like I'm doing here, so that it's good and laid down, and it gives it that holographic, very shiny look. We're going to go ahead and do this for the rest of the cup as we complete Mod Podging, and then we'll come back and fix those rough edges. Look at how pretty that looks. You can see the holographic color in it. See how it's showing out? It just looks so different when you actually lay that glitter down onto your cup. All right, I'm going to speed it up, and we'll go ahead and do the rest of the cup the exact same way. I just want to show you exactly how this works so that you can do this at home, and you don't have to do it on a tumbler. You can actually do this on any project that you're working on. Just make sure that you allow the Mod Podge to tack up a little bit, get a little tacky prior to sprinkling the glitter on it. Because I'm going in thinner versions, it's not taking me that long. Once I completed the bottom half, I repeated the exact same steps in the first layers of my buffalo plaid squares. I then came in and peeled the tape in the other squares and started laying my second color on top of Mod Podge. That's when I realized that, oh crap, I've made a mistake. Because when you're doing the buffalo plaid, it should be your solid color and then your mixed color on top of it, on the bottom of it, and on both sides of it. And I was putting my second solid color on. So I messed up. I had a little bit of the silver glitter on my finger, and so I went ahead and rubbed it in onto the Autumn Eve to help give it a mixture look. And then I decided I'll just come back later and fix that so that it's once it completely dries, I'll put another coat of Mod Podge on top of it and then come in with the Autumn Eve Artemis Crystal mixture and complete it and do it right. I hate when I make mistakes, but I didn't want to take this out because this is what could happen. When you're working on a buffalo, it's important that the solid color and then the top and the bottom underneath the solid color and both sides should be the mixture that you want. So here's what I did, and you can see on this that I used the Artemis Crystal mixed with the Autumn Eve, and this one is just the plain Autumn Eve. So you can see the difference here, right? I'm going to go ahead and finish working on this and correct my error and fix that to make sure that I have the top, the bottom, and both sides in the mixture color. And then when I remove the tape on the strips that are still left, we will then fix what we need to fix. Just making sure I've got everything rubbed down, and I'll come in next and fix the rest of this. So it's an easy fix. I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of the Mod Podge, making sure I've got my corners and edges, and then I'm just going to sprinkle the mixture over it. The good thing is that Mod Podge and glitter is very forgiving, and so it should cover this really well. And then I'll at least know that these two spots have really good coverage. Now, because we're fixing an error, the Mod Podge is not drying as fast as it would have on just the naked metal of the cup. So we want to make sure that with the Tack-it method that we allow it to dry a little more than we did on the times before we put on our mixture of glitter. Okay, so I am now just going to put the glitter on it and rub it in with my finger really well to make sure that it gets laid down, which will help give it the holographic look. I'm going to pull the strips of tape now that we have going vertical. And this is what it will look like when you are ready to peel it. Now, some people freehand it from here, but what I like to do is just cut the additional little strips and lay them side by side with the other strips so that I can have perfect striping all the way around. You don't have to do it this way, but I like to do it because it makes it more symmetric and it makes my strips look even. Once I have all the other spots glittered the way that they're supposed to, my husband's home for work, so he's sitting in here talking to me now. I'm going to go ahead and peel all of the double stick tape that we have on here and start to use a glitter for that. I think I'm going to go ahead, since this is a fall cup, I'm going to go ahead and use Tea Glitz color. It's called Muddy Coco. It's a really pretty brown, you guys. I've gone crazy on this girl's site. I've bought so much stuff. It's at a good price and it's for a good cause. So I've picked up her Muddy Coco, and I'm just coming in with the Mod Podge again and dumping that Muddy Coco in those lines. Now, because I did the Tack-it method on my other colors. I didn't have to worry about them drying or waiting. I didn't have to worry about the glue, the colors, the glitter sticking on the other pieces because I rubbed that in really well and had it all covered. And this is what it looks like. I have a couple of things that I need to clean up on it before I put it under epoxy, but this is how it looks under epoxy. And I haven't been able to figure out what decal to put on this yet because I think it's so pretty, but it needs something. Why don't you give me some suggestions below? Tell me what you think I should put on it. What kind of decal? Maybe a mandalay of a pumpkin or something. But thanks for watching. See you in our next video.